Holy smokes, it is no joke. President Donald Trump has stated $10 trillion might be arriving from his most recent visit, and why there are really strong clues to the market going very, very hot very, very soon. Greetings, lovely folks. Shalom, cash producers. While the roller coaster in the crypto markets goes on, the markets have been, cooling, not cooling, but they've been going up and then just, feeling wonderful. So I haven't utilized this impact in a while, isn't it? That's what I meant by cooling off. Isn't that so? They have been excellent. We haven't had, any insane pullback days. We have not had great fear. The last 24 hours or so have shown us some pullback in the cryptocurrency market. We'll discuss the causes for that. And I have a lot of fascinating stuff and news for you. That means we have a golden cross. I know you all always enjoy one of those. Don't confuse that with another sort of golden. All I really want from you is a lovely smile, to spread those nice, wonderful thoughts, and to hit that like button, as on Thursday we feel a little bit more generous and we hand out likes. That's just our Thursday routine. I have no idea. That's just a thing. Let's get into it. The price movement will be next, but I want to begin a little with the news. I'm going to turn it up today to shake it up a little bit and maintain some excitement. Justin Trump, India, promises to remove all tariffs on us. Major if true. You have to take it with a grain of salt now, but I also found it here on Yahoo. It also mentions Trump. India has proposed a trade agreement with no tariffs for US. The only issue is that I cannot tell whether you can view it. Isn't it? Whoa. I rushed in too quickly and too angrily. Is this what Reuters says on the bottom? Understood. Anything that comes from Reuters, therefore, we don't treat with a grain of salt. We take with a Cholula salt, knowing that Reuters is the most troublesome of the mainstream media institutions. That will therefore be taken with a great grain of salt. An agreement with the US, once more, may be quite very fascinating if they lower tariffs to zero. All the markets are down then, since pre-market, as I indicated, futures are down also. This is forthcoming. I'll tell you why within a second. We're going to keep reporting. Then we'll reach today, especially on why items are slightly selling off. Therefore, naturally, be sure to watch all the way to the end to obtain the whole experience. Isn't that so? You want to have the whole experience. President Trump claims his Middle East visit may generate possible investments of $10 trillion. I don't know whether you've been seeing the footage, but in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, they treated him like a king. By the way, he's now going to his next section of the journey, United Arab Emirates, where, incidentally, Ripple president, right, Monica Long, is also present. Fascinating, isn't it? You recall we discussed that. That will thus be fascinating to observe what sort of crypto items, what sort of deals will emerge from that. He must also wish that at home matters turn out. This is a report from Eleanor Terrett here stating that she's in Toronto, but what she's hearing out of Washington, per two Senate sources, is that a bipartisan group of senators is close to arriving at a consensus on the Genius Act's text that could allow the process to move forward after days of intensive negotiation that should restarted Monday following last Thursday's failed cloture vote. Still, the text is not set. Senate leadership is debating the procedural road ahead to resume consideration of the Genius Act, including the amendment process and motion to reconsider the goal, which is subject to change, is to possibly hold the final vote for Memorial Day recess and ahead of the reconciliation process, though the time frame could change depending on whether a process agreement can be achieved with Democrats. This is quite crucial, since if this doesn't get done, it might not get done, since we don't know what will happen in the following government. Perhaps they support cryptocurrency, perhaps they are anti-crypto. It's a mystery, isn't it? You know, in the near future, it's really crucial they have this approved, since it will also resolve a lot of regulation. Many businesses are waiting to see what are the laws going to be in the United States of America. And I believe it is quite crucial that this be approved. Once more, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't, but for many businesses, for Ripple, and for cryptocurrency in general, for the US Americans, correct? Or US residents, and in general, you know, crypto in general, it could be quite very significant. Is that all right? That is therefore really extremely crucial, since it might pass there. And pay attention, the market we are in is greed, isn't it? We're among the highest levels we've observed at the greed. The stock market is avaricious, isn't it? But if you go and look, and it's not you, since you're not an issue, isn't that so? I quoted that as it's not an issue, isn't it? It's an issue for those not present. You are, isn't it? Though the market has improved, I've been saying for the past month that folks the viewing, like the interest is still quite difficult. It was perhaps a lot simpler 2 months ago. Perhaps some, just clocked out a little bit. The prices were falling, so they had enough. The prices are back where they were, but it appears customers have not come back. Still, despite Bitcoin being over 100,000, with Ethereum and altcoins pumping and XRP rising as well, folks appear rather clocked out. And you can see here, like, we were, it's getting a little bit difficult maybe to acquire views on YouTube and perhaps engagements. Some folks will be back to the somewhat, clickbaity titles. That's okay. That's only natural. But if you go and you look, you'll discover that Google searches this week for Bitcoin hit a 6-month low, indicating falling retail interest despite the price rises. You also have a scenario where this could be the most obvious bull setup in the past 7 years. Bitcoin close to all-time high. Retail interest at all-time low. Ether, Bitcoin, ended 3 years of downward trend. Out index bounces off of a low range. We also received a golden cross for the first time in 4 years. Last time, the whole market blew a 50x. Usually, retail doesn't arrive until it's already up quite a bit, which is the issue. If you recall, we discussed this earlier. This time, the market recall from 1,000 to 20,000 in the year